ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमां विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. So the chapter breakdown is Arjuna is asking about six things. What are those six things? Prakriti, Purusha, Kshetra, Kshetragya, Jnanam, Gyayam. Right? So from this chapter 13, Jnana Yoga, the part of Jnana is from chapter 13 to 18. So this is related to the analysis of body and soul. So these questions. So therefore this is mentioned as Jnana Yoga. So now Krishna will explain all those things. That why what is this Prakriti Purush, Kshetra, Kshetragya, Jnanam, Geyam. Then 2 to 7 Krishna gives answer of Kshetra, Kshetragya and Jnanam a little. And then Jnanam is elaborated in 8 to 12. Then Gyayam is explained in 13 to 19. Prakriti Purusha and their union is explained in 20 to 26. And how can you overcome this material nature and this bondage between Prakriti and Purusha? By surrendering to Krishna. That is explained. Okay, so let us start. Yeah, chapter 13, text number 1 and 2. Arjuna Uvacha Prakritim Purusham Chaiva Kshetram Kshetragyam cha Etadveditumicchami Jnanam Geyam cha Keshava. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Idam Shariram Kvanteya Kshetram Mityavidiyate Etadyo Vettitam Prabhu Kshetragya iti Tanvida. Arjuna said, "O my dear Krishna, I wish to know about Prakriti, Purusha, the enjoyer, Prakriti or the nature, and the field and the knower of the field. Field means the Kshetra, knower of the field means Kshetragya, and the knowledge, Jnanam, and the object of knowledge, Game. These six questions. And the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, this body, O son of Kunti, is called a field where all the activities are done, and one who knows this body is called the knower of the field. So there are two knowers of the field, one is Atma and one is Paramatma. This body is field, knower of the field is two, one is Atma, one is Paramatma. Atma has limited knowledge about this body. Atma has known and knowledge about other body. Atma has knowledge about this body, but that knowledge is also limited. But Paramatma has complete knowledge about all bodies. So this is the difference. Okay. Now, text 3. Kshetragyam chapimam vidhi sarvakshetreshu bharata kshetrakshetragyayorjnanam tat yat tadjnanam matam mama. Ocean of Bharata, you should understand that I am also the knower of all bodies. So Krishna is also, or Paramatma is also the knower in all bodies, but there is localized knower also, that is the Atma. And to understand this body and its knower called knowledge. So what is knowledge or Gyan? To understand this body, Kshetra, Kshetragya, and two different kind of Kshetragya, the soul and the super soul. So knowledge, knowing about soul, super soul, and this body and all these things are called knowledge. That is my opinion. So knowledge basically means you have to know yourself and you have to know Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. तत्क्षेत्रं यच्च यदृक्षं यद्विकारी यतश्च यत् स चायो यत्प्रभवश्च तत्समासेन मे शृणु. Now please hear my brief description of the field of activity and how it is constituted, what its changes are, whence it is produced, and that knower of the field of activities is, who that knower of that field of activities is, and of what his influences are. So Kshetra and Kshetraga, Krishna is telling I will explain in detail now. Okay, so up to that 7 it will be explained. Yeah. ऋषिभिर्बहुधा गीतं छन्दोभिर्विविधैः पृथक् ब्रह्मसूत्रपदश्चैव हेतुमाद्भिर्विनिश्चितः. That knowledge of the field of activities and the knower of the activities is described by various sages in various Vedic writings. It is especially presented in Vedanta Sutra with all reasoning as to cause and effect. So Krishna is telling, I am explaining from Vedanta Sutra this knowledge. The knowledge of the field or jnanam and activities, and the knower of the activities means the kshetragya, like that. So kshetragya and jnanam I will explain. महाभूतान्यहङ्कारो बुद्धिरव्यक्तमेव च इन्द्रियाणि दशैकं च पञ्चचेन्द्रियगोचर इच्छद्वेषसुखं दुःखं संहतश्चेतनाधृति एतत् क्षेत्रं समासेन सविकारम् उदाहृतम्. So Krishna is explaining the five great elements means earth, water, fire, air, ether, pancha mahabhutas. False ego intelligence, the unmanifested means pradhana, the 10 senses and the mind. 10 senses means 5 karmendriyas, 5 jnanendriyas, 5 knowledge acquiring senses and 5 working senses. Knowledge acquiring senses means eyes, ears, nose, tongue, skin. Knowledge acquiring, these are the knowledge acquiring senses. And working senses means your mouth, your voice, no sorry, actually hands, legs, hands, legs, your voice, and then the reproductive organs and the anus or the alimentary organs. So these are the 5 working senses, and along with 5 knowledge acquiring senses, the 10 senses, and the mind is the 11th one. 5 sense objects means tanmatras. Okay, rupa, ras, gandha, sparsha, shabda. Desire, hatred, happiness, distress, the aggregate, the life symptoms, the convictions, all these are considered in summary to be field of activities and its incarnations. So these are the field of activities, means with the body we interact with all these elements and we do something in this world, that is our karma. So with the body we interact with all these elements and then that is our karma, and thus we work, and in future we have to suffer or we are credited for that work or karma. So in essence the kshetra means the field of activity, this body, and what are the different interactions possible, that is explained here with this body and this material world. And then the knower of the body is two. One is Krishna Paramatma, who is the knower of all bodies, and another is localized knower, that is the Atma. And then Jnanam means knowing about the Paramatma, knowing about the Atma and the interactions of Atma with this material nature. So that is Jnanam. So now this Jnanam part is again elaborated, the process of acquiring knowledge, and basically this contains different kinds of qualities. So let us go through it. Amanityam vadam vityam ahimsa shantirarjavam acharyopasanam shaucham sthairyamatma vinigraha indriyartheshu vairagyam anahankar evacha janma mrityu jara vyadhi dukkha doshanudarshanam asaktiranavishvanga putradara grihadishu nityam cha samachittattvam इष्टानिष्टोपपत्तिषु मयि चानन्ययोगेन भक्तिरव्याभिचारिणि विविक्तादेशसेवित्वम् हरातिर्जानसंसदि अध्यात्मज्ञाननित्यत्वं तथ्यज्ञानार्थदर्शनम् एतज्ज्ञानामिति प्रोक्तम् अज्ञानं यज्ञन्यथा. So Krishna is telling different qualities: humility, pridelessness, non-violence, tolerance, simplicity, approaching a bona fide spiritual master, cleanliness, steadiness. You can count: humility 1, pridelessness 2, non-violence 3, tolerance 4, simplicity 5, approaching a bona fide spiritual master 6, cleanliness 7, steadiness 8, self-control 9, renunciation of the object of sense gratification 10, absence of the false ego 11, the perception of evil of birth, death, old age, disease 12, detachment 13, freedom from the entanglement with children, wife, home and the rest 14, even-mindedness amid pleasant and unpleasant events 15, constant and unwell devotion to me 16. Aspiring to live in a solitary place. 17. Detachment from the general mass of people. 18. Accepting the importance of self-realization. That is 19. And philosophical search for absolute truth. 20. So these 20 qualities or 20 aspects, all these I declare to be knowledge. And besides this, whatever there may be is ignorance. So if you are following any path and you are cultivating these qualities, then you are on the right path, you are on the path of knowledge. And otherwise your path is of ignorance. So this is a check you can do, that whether I am in the path of jnanam or agyanam. So if you are cultivating these qualities, that is jnanam, otherwise agyanam. So that is another definition of jnanam. So we know about this the Kshetragyan, Jnanam. These three topics are covered. Now Gyam will be explained from 13 to 19. Yeah. So Prabhupada is explaining all these qualities in detail in the purport. Now Gyam. Gyayam yattat pravakshami yajgata mritamashnuте anadi matparam brahma nasattan nasaduchyate. I shall now explain the knowable, knowing which you will taste the eternal Brahman, the spirit, beginningless and subordinate to me, lies beyond the cause and effect of this material world. So now Gayam will be explained, knowing which you will taste the eternal. And Gayam, so Gayam in Sanskrit means the object of knowledge, means what is there to know, right? So Krishna is explaining Anadi Matparam Brahma. Anadi means beginningless. Matparam Brahma means subordinate to me, that Brahma. So Brahma may mean the Supreme Personality of Godhead also. Brahma may mean the Jivatma also. Mayavadis will explain that this Brahma means Jivatma and the Supreme Lord are same. But here the distinction is done by this phrase Matparam, subordinate to me. So that means here Brahma refers to the spirit soul. So you have to know about Atman. So here the Brahma means spirit soul. Okay, so now Gyam will be explained further. So Gyam means, previously also we discussed when we are discussing about Jnanam. Jnanam means knowing about the soul and super soul in essence. Now Gyam means knowing about what? What is the object of my knowledge? So the simple answer is soul and super soul. Just try to understand that knowledge means knowing about soul and super soul. Now Gyam means the object of knowledge. Then it must be soul and super soul. So in the previous verse already soul, Krishna told about soul, that knowing soul is Gyam. And how that is soul? That is not super soul, because Mat Param word is used. So Mat Param, that means it has to be soul. So now Krishna will explain about this Paramatma also. Sarvata panipadam tat sarvatokshi shiromukham sarvato shrutim loke sarvama vrittatishtati. Everywhere are his hands and legs, his eyes, heads and faces, and he has ears everywhere. In this way the super soul exists, pervading everything. So you have to know about that super soul also, not only that Anadi Matparam Brahma. सर्वेन्द्रिय गुणाभासं सर्वेन्द्रिय विवर्जितम् असक्तं सर्वभृच्चैव निर्गुणं गुणवृत्ति च. The super soul is the original source of all senses, yet he is without senses. He is unattached through. Although he is the maintainer of all living beings, he transcends the modes of nature, and at the same time he is the master of all the modes of material nature. Okay, so this is the qualities of the super soul. You have to know all these things. बहिरन्तश्च भूतानाम् आचरं चरमेव च सूक्ष्माद्वत् तत् अविज्ञेयं दूरस्थं चन्तिके च तत्. The supreme truth exists outside and inside of all living beings, in the moving and the non-moving, because he is subtle. He is beyond the power of the material senses to see or know, although far, far away. He is also near to all. So the Supreme Lord is outside also, inside also. Inside he is there as Paramatma, and outside he is there in many forms. Like in the form of Guru, he is outside. In the form of Kshirodokosai Vishnu, he is there in all atoms like that. And inside outside of all living beings, all moving and non-moving things, he is subtle beyond the power of material senses to see or know. That is why he is called Adhokshaja. Although he is far far away, he is in Golok Vrindavan, which is far far away from this material world. He is near to all. He is in the heart also. So like that. These are the characteristics of the super soul. Avivaktam cha bhuteshu vivaktam iva cha sthitam bhutavartir cha tadjnanam grasishnu prabhavishnu cha. Although the super soul appears to be divided among all beings, he is never divided. He is situated as one. Although he is the maintainer of living entity, every living entity, it is to be understood that he devours and develops all. So the Mayavadis think the Paramatma in the heart of all living entities, there is one Paramatma and that is divided into all. No. We know from the Ishopanishad, the invocation mantra Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyase. So that means although many complete parts emanate from the complete personality of Godhead, he is never reduced, right? He is always complete. So that is the thing. So super soul is not divided among all beings and he is the maintainer of all. ज्योतिषम् अपि तज्ज्योतिष तमसा परमुच्यते ज्ञानं ज्ञेयं ज्ञानागम्यं रिद्धि सर्वस्वविष्टितम्. He is the source of light in all luminous objects. He is beyond the darkness of matter and is unmanifested. He is knowledge. He is the object of knowledge. He is the goal of knowledge. He is situated in everyone's heart. So another object of knowledge is this, and this Paramatma, or previously I told that Matparam Brahma means soul. Soul is also object of knowledge and Paramatma is also the object of knowledge. And this object of knowledge, Paramatma, he is the light in all luminous objects. We have already studied in the Vibhuti Yoga 10th chapter that whatever is there in everything, the essence of everything is Krishna. He is beyond the darkness of matter and is unmanifested. He is the knowledge. He is the object of knowledge. And he is the goal of knowledge. He is situated in everyone's heart. He is the knowledge, means he is knowledge personified. He is the object of knowledge, means by studying scriptures he is to be known, and he is the goal of knowledge, means after studying scriptures and doing devotional service, your ultimate goal is his abode only. So he is everything. He is situated in everyone's heart. This Paramatma you must know about him. इति क्षेत्रं तथा ज्ञानं ज्ञेयं चोक्तं समासतः मद्भक्ता एतद्विज्ञाय मद्भावयोपपद्यते. Thus the field of activity is the body or the kshetra, knowledge or the jnanam, knowable, the jnayam, have been summarily described by me. Only my devotees can understand this thoroughly and thus attain to my nature. So four things are explained. First of all, the kshetra, kshetragya, and then jnanam and jnayam, and then prakriti and purusha. Krishna will explain now from this 20 to 26. Prakriti and purusha, what are they? Prakritim purusham chaiva vidyanadivapi vikaramascha gunamschaiva vidhi prakriti shambhavan. Material nature and the living entities should be understood to be beginningless. Their transformations and the modes of matter are products of material nature. So the living entities are part and parcel of Krishna and they are eternal, beginningless. The material nature is also beginningless because material nature is sometimes created, sometimes annihilated. But this cycle is going on eternally. Creation and destruction of the material world. Therefore, material nature is also beginningless. And their transformation. The living entities are coming into material nature. They are trying to lord over this material nature. They are interacting. Okay. Their transformation and the modes of matter are also products of material nature. So this material nature is called the Prakriti. And Purusha means the enjoyer who wants to enjoy Prakriti. So there are actually two enjoyers. One, the true enjoyer is, the real enjoyer is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So only Krishna can be called as Purusha. But there is another Purusha who is the living entity. Although if you see constitutionally, the living entity is not Purusha. The living entity is energy of the Supreme Lord. Actually, what is the meaning of Prakriti and Purusha? Purusha means the enjoyer or the Shaktiman, and Prakriti means the enjoyed or the energy of the energetic. So Purusha means energetic and Prakriti means the energy. So in that sense, in absolute sense, Krishna is only the Purusha. And this material nature is also Krishna's energy, material nature is also Prakriti, and the living entities, they are also Tatastha Shakti, they are also Prakriti. So actually Krishna is only Purusha, material nature is also Prakriti, and the living entities are also Prakriti. But the living entities are coming into the material nature by thinking them to be the enjoyer. So due to this enjoyer mentality of the living entity is sometimes called as Purusha. Although actually the living entity is not Purusha. So a beautiful example was given by Gauranga Darshan Prabhu. Like why this is so? Sometimes there is some mad person. Okay, they think I am the prime minister. Some mad person. They may think I am the prime minister. If you call me by prime minister, I will respond. Otherwise, I will not respond. So there are some people like that. So if you call that person by name, he will not respond. If you call him, oh prime minister, then only that person will respond. So similarly, the living entities who are coming into this material world, they are having a abhiman, or they have a designation. They have a preconceived notion that I am the enjoyer. If you call me enjoyed, I will not respond. If you call me enjoyer, yeah, yeah. What are you telling? I will respond then. So therefore, because the living entity is having a abhiman or sense of, uh, it is having a sense that I am the enjoyer. Therefore, in the scripture, sometimes Purusha refers to the living entity, because the scriptures are some advice towards the living entity. And if that living entity does not listen to the advice, then what is the use? So therefore scriptures are saying, okay, we will call you by Purusha only, but please listen to my instructions. So like that. So therefore the summary is Prakriti refers to material nature and Purusha can be two. The original Purusha is Krishna and another Purusha is the living entity. Although constitutionally you should know that the Jiva or the living entity is also Prakriti. Nature is said to be the cause of material cause and effects, whereas the living entity is the cause of various sufferings and enjoyment in this world. So the sufferings and enjoyments, who are the causes for our sufferings and enjoyment? We blame Krishna, we blame Bhagavan, God, but we are actually the cause. Because we are caught up in this material world, we are choosing Maya, we are not choosing Krishna. That is why we are suffering. So we are only the cause. Purusha prakritisto hi भुङ्क्ते प्रकृतिजन् गुणान् कारणं गुणसङ्गस्य सदा सज्जन्मजोनिषु. The living entity in the material world thus follows the ways of life, enjoying the three modes of material nature. This is due to his association with that material nature. Thus, he meets with good and evil among various species. So, the living entity is actually pure, Satchidananda, but due to the association of the modes of the material worlds, Karanam Guna Sangasha, Sad Asad Janma Jonishu, sometimes he is taking birth in Sad Joni, sometimes he is taking birth in Asad Joni. Like, sometimes he is getting the human form of life, sometimes he is getting the animal form of life. So, like that. And who is the cause? What is the cause of this? Karanam Guna Sangasha, due to the association of the modes. The pure living entity when comes in contact with material nature, it is polluted. Just like the raindrops are pure, but as soon as it touches the ground and it is mixed with soil, it appears to be muddy. So like that, the living entities are polluted and they are suffering due to that. Now, this is about the living entities, and what is about Paramatma, who is the real Purusha? Upadashtanumantacha भर्ता भुक्त महेश्वर परमात्मेति चाप्युक्तो देहेस्मिन् purusha para. So this is the original purusha. Previously the jivas or living entities are explained, they are actually the fake purushas. They think themselves to be purusha, but they are not purushas, they are prakritis, and they are suffering actually. But this is the real purusha, upadrashta anumanta, who is in this body, yet in this body there is another transcendental enjoyer, means the purusha. Who is the Lord? Maheshwara, the supreme proprietor, who exists, the overseer, who exists as the overseer and permitter. Upadrashta Anumantacha. As Paramatma, Lord is seeing everything, all our activities, he is monitoring. And Anumantacha, he is giving permission. Without the permission of Paramatma, we cannot do anything. If we are trying to enjoy this material world also, Paramatma has to sanction, otherwise we cannot enjoy. Actually, we cannot do anything in this material world. We want to do something, it gets sanctions by Paramatma. Then Paramatma orders material nature, okay, this living entity wants to enjoy, you please arrange, and then we are able to enjoy. Otherwise, we have no power. And who is known as the super soul? Paramatmeti chapyukto. That Purusha, original Purusha, is known as Paramatma. Ya evam vetti purusham prakritim cha gunaishah Sarvata Vartamanopi Nashavuyo Vijayate. One who understands this philosophy concerning material nature, the living entity, and the interaction of the three modes of nature is sure to attain liberation. He will not take birth here again regardless of his present position. So if you know all these things, material nature, Prakriti, Purusha, and previously explained Jnanam, Geyam, Kshetra, Kshetragya, you will be equipped with full knowledge, and with full knowledge you are expected to engage in devotional service, and then you will go back to Vaikuntha and you will not take birth again regardless of his present position. ध्यानेनात्मानि पश्यन्ति केचिदात्मानमात्मना अन्ये शंख्येन योगेन कर्मयोगेन चापरेम. Some perceive the super soul within themselves through meditation, dhyana yoga, others through cultivation of knowledge, sankhya or jnana yoga, and still others through working without fruitive desires or karma yoga. So there are many different paths. So here the knowledge aspect is explained. In 13 to 18, the knowledge aspect will be explained predominantly. So this is like analysis. We are analyzing the material nature. Okay, this is Kshetra, this is Kshetraga, this is Jnanam, this is Giyam, this is Prakriti, this is Purusha. Okay, I understand everything. And now I know about what is my duty. So by analysis of these things, whatever knowledge you are gaining, that is called Jnana or Sankhya. So this is also way, but the goal is same. By Karma Yoga, you are, what is Karma Yoga? That you have to work without fruitive desires. How that is possible? Work for Krishna. So by Karma Yoga also you are coming into Bhakti Yoga, working for Krishna. By Jnana Yoga, what is the process? You analyze and then you gain knowledge. And after gaining knowledge, what is the expectation? That you will be engaged in devotional service. So from Jnana Yoga also you are coming to Bhakti Yoga. And through meditation you are meditating on Paramatma. And by seeing the form of Paramatma you get attracted and you want to serve him. So by meditation also you are coming to Bhakti Yoga. So all these different paths are there, but ultimately you have to come to Bhakti Yoga. So why not directly come to Bhakti Yoga? All these different processes may take several lifetimes. Why to waste? Hanyatvayevamadjanantam Shutvanyevya upashate Tepi chati tarantyeva Mrityam shuti parayana. Again, there are those who, although not conversant in spiritual knowledge, begin to worship the Supreme Person upon hearing about him from others. Because of their tendency to hear from authorities, they also transcend the path of birth and death. So some persons, they like to analyze the scriptures, but some persons accept authority or guru parampara. So that is also a bona fide way. If you accept a guru, guru will give you knowledge and you will be directly engaged in bhakti yoga. And by hearing from authorities, you can also transcend this birth and death. So you have to accept guru and engage in devotional service. Javat sanchayate kanchit shattam sthavar jangamam kshetra kshetragya samyogat tadviddi bharatarshava. A chief of the Bharatas know that whatever you see in existence, both the moving and the non-moving, is only a combination of field of activities and the knower of the field. So whatever we are seeing in this material world is basically the interaction of Kshetra and Kshetragya. Kshetragya means the soul. Soul is interacting with the material nature. He is trying to enjoy, sometimes suffering, sometimes getting happiness. So this is all going on. So you understand the futility of this thing and engage in devotional service. समं सर्वेषु भूतेषु तिष्ठन्तं परमेश्वरं विन्यसत्सु अविनश्यन्तं या पश्यन्ति स पश्यति. One who sees the super soul accompanying the individual soul in all bodies and who understands that neither the soul or the super soul within the destructible body is ever destroyed is actually seeing. So ordinarily, if you see, you will see people are getting happiness, distress. Okay, so that is ordinary vision. But what is real vision? If you are able to see that super soul is accompanying you in all bodies, Krishna is only the your best friend. So today is friendship day, and the devotees are posting that verse Bhoktaram Yagyatapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram Suhridam Sarvabhutanam Yatmamam Shantimichati. So if you understand that Krishna is your eternal friend, and then you are able to also see that super soul and soul is never destroyed, then you are actually seeing, then your eyes are actually opened. Samam pashyam hi sarvatra samavasthitamishwaram nahinasya tatmanam manam tato yati param gatim. One who sees the super soul equally present everywhere in every living being does not degrade himself by his mind. Thus he approaches the transcendental destination. So one who knows that super soul is there in every body, he has knowledge about super soul. So that person will engage in devotional service. He will not degrade. He will not aspire for sense gratification. प्रकृत्यैव च कर्माणि क्रियमाणानि सर्वशः ज पश्यन्ति तथात्मानं Akartaram Shapashati. One who can see that all activities are performed by the body, which is created of material nature, and sees the self is doing nothing, actually sees. So I already explained that our soul does not do anything. Soul just desires. And that desire is sanctioned by Paramatma. And then Paramatma orders material nature. And this body is a product of material nature. And then this material nature is actually moving the body. Like if I want to lift my hand, the soul is not lifting. Soul is wanting, soul is desiring to lift the hand. Then Paramatma is sanctioning, okay, let this soul lift his hand. Oh material nature, you arrange. Then material nature is arranging, okay, this soul is in this body. So I activate this body's right hand so that it raises above. So the material nature is controlling all the bodies. The soul is only desiring. So if you have this knowledge, then you are actually seeing. Jadabhuta pritag bhavam ekastha manupashyati tatha eva च vistaram brahma sampyadate tada. When a sensible man ceases to see different identities due to different material bodies and he sees how beings are expanded everywhere, he attains to the Brahman conception. So ordinary person will see Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, black, white, American, Indian, like that. But one who is in the Brahmabhuta platform, he will see everyone as servant of God and Paramatma is residing in everyone, everyone has the mind of God. So equanimity is achieved for that person. Anaditman nirgunatvat paramatmyam avyaya sharirasthopi kaunteya na karoti na lipyate. Those with vision of the eternity can see that the imperishable soul is transcendental, eternal, and beyond the modes of nature. Despite contact with the material body, O Arjuna, the soul neither does anything nor it is entangled. So the soul is not doing anything and soul does not get entangled. But we are suffering due to our false identification with this material body. Jata sarva gatam sakshmyad आकाशं नोपलिप्यते सर्वत्रोऽवस्थितो देहे तथात्मा नोपलिप्यते. The sky due to its subtle nature does not mix with anything although it is all pervading. The sky is all pervading The air is all pervading, but it does not get mixed with anything. Similarly, the soul situated in Brahman vision does not mix with the body, though situated in that body. So soul, although in the body, but if you are in the Brahman platform, you will be separated from the body. You will not identify yourself with the body. तथा प्रकाशति एकं कृष्णं लोकमिमं रवि क्षेत्रं क्षेत्री तथा कृष्णं प्रकाशं प्रकाशयति भारत. Ocean Bharata, as the sun alone illuminates all this universe, so does the living entity, one within the body, illuminate the entire body by consciousness. So like the sun is illuminating the universe, the soul is illuminating the body with consciousness. क्षेत्राशक्तगयोरेवम् अन्तरं ज्ञानचक्षुषा भूतप्रकृतिमोक्षं च ये विदुर्यन्ति ते परम्. Those who see with eyes of knowledge the difference between body and the knower of the body and can understand the process of liberation from bondage of material nature attains the supreme goal. So if you have this knowledge of Kshetra, Kshetrajna, Jnanam, Geyam, Prakriti, Purusha, then you can easily attain liberation. So thus ends the chapter 13. Okay, Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.